Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hopenning. This is a place where hope is happening. My friend Marina and I have created a space that is positive, uplifting, and more than anything else will bring you hope. I am Fran, and I am a part-time rapid transformational therapy practitioner, and I am soon to be a retired 34-year elementary school teacher. My beautiful co-host Marina with us here today is a full-time clinical hypnotherapist specializing in rapid transformational therapy. We both live in Alberta, Canada. I live in the north. She lives in Calgary and part-time in beautiful British Columbia. And today we are having our special guest for opening number 68, Salina Mitera. Mitera.
Mithra.
Mithra. Yes.
Welcome, Salina.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Fran. And thank you, Salina. I'm going to introduce Salina just a tiny bit here. So Salina does rapid transformational therapy as well. And she is on a mission to help her clients experience true freedom and live in alignment with their authentic self. Her purpose in life is to help people feel confident from the inside out. After the trauma of divorce, Salina was led down a path of exploring self-development and alternative healing techniques. And over the past decades, Salina dedicated herself to learning and practicing various modalities, studying under the best teachers in the field and honing her craft so she can help you transform your life. Sign me up, Salina. I would love to know more.
You're so cute.
So, how did you get where you are now? Like, you look awful young. Like, I'm looking at you thinking, you're not even 30, and yet you've done a ton of stuff in your life. Like, how did this journey start?
Oh, first of all, bless you. Okay. Bless you. I'm 43 years old and I am proud of it. I got good genes. It started, you know, I guess the best way to say it is that it's part is my upbringing. So my mom did Reiki on me when I was a kid to like help me with my headaches and things like that. So I was always exposed to it. Always intrigued by it. My grandmother did yoga, like just had it around me. I didn't participate in all of it until much later in life, but it was always kind of around me and exposed to it. So it was very natural when it was time for me to experience it. It was a very natural course to take and route to kind of go down. And then how I got into everything was really when I got, even before I got divorced, I was really unhappy. I wouldn't admit it to anyone, but I was really, really unhappy. I felt like I had, the expression, like, it is what it is. That's what my life was. It is what it is. I made that choice. I gotta live with it. It is what it is. I gotta deal with the consequences, you know? And I was just so tired of living my life that way. And traditional therapy, I tried it and it just didn't resonate with me. So I went to equine therapy, which is really cool. I went to Reiki, I did hypnotherapy, I did rapid transformational therapy. Like, I received all these different things. And I think my biggest problem that I had for myself was that I was just so angry. I was just so angry. And I had dealt with anger my whole life. Like, it just got amplified with the divorce. And I had someone turn to me and say, like, you don't have to live with that anger. And I was like, no, I had no idea. And once that happened, I realized that everyone has things that they live with, that they think that is a part of them that they have to live with, and they just don't.
Yeah. So your background, like you and I were talking about a little bit about this before, Marina and myself, and I'm sure you as well. There's something in us that just is seeking healing, and then we make that part of our life to help others. Like it's just this combination of a domino effect. So your mom, your grandma, there was healing already in your early upbringing. So they had probably their parents and maybe grandparents had done healing for them as well. How do you see this healing being passed on? Have you ever thought about I don't know. I'm very connected with what happened in the past generationally and how it affects us today. Like, do you feel like your anger was something that was attached to DNA or was attached to an emotional experience that happened in the past that carried on to you generationally? Or was it something that was personal to you?
I think it was both. I think that it was very personal to me. I think unexpressed children or children who feel like they can't express themselves will harbor their emotions, no matter what it is, whether it's anger, sadness. For me, it was, I didn't know how to process my emotions. I actually didn't learn that as a child. I grew up in the 80s. No one taught us how to process our emotions in the 80s. It wasn't a thing like it is today. And it was like, just get over it. Stop crying. Just deal with it. You're so dramatic. And I am. I own it. But I just didn't learn how to process my emotions. So I held on to them. I just kept holding on and holding on. And I think that generationally, to answer your question, I think that has been the history for women. Like, I think that women in general, for a long time, were taught, don't cry, it makes you look weak. Suck it up, be a big girl, you got to be tough. And we weren't taught to process our emotions in a healthy way. And sometimes it turns into anger. Sometimes it turns into that girl that won't stop crying in the corner, like it just depends on how you've learned to express it or how your body has chosen to express it. But for me, it got to the point where even when I was happy, like it was like a happy occasion, I was angry. Because that's the only emotion I could understand.
Very interesting. So, Salina, I just by getting to know you a little bit, I know that there is a lot more to you than just this. So please tell me. I'm so fascinated by your story and everything that you do today and the empowering component that you add to women, and just an amazing mission that you are on.
With my confidence, with my people feeling confident from the inside out. Yeah, I do all these healing modalities, and I also am a photographer. So I really, really stand for people to really feel beautiful and learn how to process their emotions, learn how to reset their nervous system, and be able to stand in that confidence of who they are in the world, and feel empowered by it. And then I do the photography to I do the photography so they can see that. Like, I've done photography for 16 years. That was my first love was photography. And I love watching the look on someone's face when they feel comfortable and they drop their walls and they see themselves on the camera for the first time, like actually see who they are. And it's so beautiful. And it's the same thing that happens when they're in a, rapid transformational therapy session. When they do I'm sure your audience knows all about rapid transformational therapy at this point and the process of it. But when they go through that journey of, identifying their belief system and interrupting it, and then getting to the point where they get that transformation, where they get that light bulb moment where it's like, oh, their whole body lights up. You get to witness it, or we get to witness it. And it's the same feeling. It's so beautiful. Like, I want every woman to feel it. I want every human in the world to feel it.
That's so beautiful, because in my life, I've experienced that I had to start to see me and accept me for who I truly am before I could be available for my amazing husband to find me based on what I saw in myself. And I think what you do, not just with rapid transformational therapy, but with photography as well, is to unlock the ability for your clients to see who they truly are, to fall in love with that inner self, that beauty of who they really are. And I know that you said you studied many more modalities. So tell us what else you do.
Okay. I do rapid transformational therapy. I do work with the nervous system. I do access consciousness. Access consciousness is probably one of the youngest modalities out there. But it's all about creating possibilities and working with universal energy. And it's just so light. I don't know how else to explain it, but I do something called access bars. So it's under that umbrella of access consciousness. And there's 32 points in the head. And when gently touched, helps release all the judgments and point of views that are stuck or trapped in the body and in the mind. And so the best way to describe it is that the bare minimum you receive after a session is that you feel like you got a nice massage. And the energy of it is so dynamic, it'll keep running even after the session. So just basically like more possibilities just start opening up. Like where there was only like a narrow path before, you start thinking in a different way, like with more clarity, and things just start opening up and opening up and opening up. And it's just like beautifully and dynamically is the only way I can describe it. And then I'm a Reiki master. I think most people know what Reiki is, but universal life force energy and working with the client's energy and the universal energy in the world. And just creating alignment and making sure everything's in flow. It helps with anxiety, both access consciousness actually, and access bars and Reiki all help with anxiety. I think everything that I do helps with anxiety, overwhelm, creates more mental clarity. It's kind of beautiful that they all work so well together. I was saying earlier that it's really not about the modality. It's really about what people are willing to receive and how they're willing to receive it. So I don't pick the modality first. I actually work with the client and then work with them intuitively to make sure that whatever modality we're using is in alignment with what they're willing to receive and how they can understand it and how they can embody whatever it is that they want to embody, whether it's their truth, whether it's who they are, whether it's, you know, I finally broke out and I'm starting to logically feel happy, but that contentment is missing, like that feeling, that settledness of that emotion inside the body is still missing. So then it's like, okay, well, now we have it logically. Let's bring that into the body. Let's feel our emotions. Let's settle into it. And I don't think it matters which way we go about it. What matters is that it's effective and that you get to hold on to that and know how to do that for yourself.
So it's really intuitive, isn't it? The work that you do has to be intuitive because otherwise you wouldn't know which modality would work best in whichever particular situation of this particular client. So every session that you do must be so much different from one client to the next. Can you tell us a little bit, if possible, about one of your clients that stands out for you, about where they came in at the beginning, what they might have been experiencing in their life, and how that shifted for them, so that after the session, what change there was in them and what they were able to go on and be able to become and do in their life?
Absolutely. I just actually recently worked with someone about self-sabotage, and they were just having a hard time, I would say, with their ex. I get a lot of people that have a hard time letting go of their ex and wanting to go back, even though they know it's not the right situation, but they kind of want to go back and or drawn or however they want to phrase it. And this person was just having a hard time with it and wanted to stop, and knew that they were doing self-sabotaging behaviors, had enough awareness to understand that, okay, I'm consistently sabotaging myself. And it's not only in the area of relationships. I can see it in my business. I can see it all over the place, because how we do one thing is usually how we do everything. And that was beautiful that they had the awareness to it starts with awareness, right? So they came in with this beautiful awareness. And then what we did was we actually, so at the beginning of the session, I'll go through all of the exercises. So I started them off with a centering exercise, because when we're at center, we are us. You know, when I'm at center, I am me. There's nothing else in my space. There's no like Salina the therapist, Salina this, or whatever role I'm playing. I get to just be me. And my body knows that. And that's me calm. And that's me, you know, feeling amazing. And everyone has that. Everyone has their center. So we always start with a centering exercise to make sure that wherever they're operating from that place of calm. It's the homeostasis position for your nervous system, basically. And so I teach them how to do that, and I teach them how to put that into practice, because it's funny. We always think, oh, I should calm myself. But if we practice being calm when there's nothing going on, the body will remember it when there's times when there's a lot going on. So usually I start with doing the nervous system work first. And then we go through like what the problem is and like how it's manifesting in their life. So for this particular person, she was constantly thinking about going back to her ex and wanting to call them, wanting to have a booty call here and there, you know, just do the things that we normally do when we're in that situation. And we sat down and we met her saboteur, and we talked to them, and we discovered why they showed up in the first place, and how they were actually trying to protect her and save her and help her. Like, that's really what it was there for. It wasn't trying to sabotage her. It was really trying to help her and protect her and keep her safe. And it was just doing it in a way that didn't work for her anymore. And so by the end of the session, she got that. She understood that. She not broke up with her saboteur, okay? Because that thing comes around, and we just got to learn how to work with it, not remove it completely as much as we would like to. It's about recognizing it and working with it, and saying, okay, well, when you show up, what is it that you want me to know in that moment? Is it that, okay, be extra aware right now. There's something else going on in your space that you need to pay attention to. And then you can take a step back and go, okay, let me just look at the space. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for letting me know that there's something extra to pay attention to, but you can go now. You know, I appreciate you. And it becomes this different relationship and this different dynamic. So as she went on with her, you know, life over the next few weeks, she just kept noticing that, like, in situations where she would normally start binge eating, where she would normally start doing Netflix or doing the things that would normally set her back and have her saboteur show up, she was like, oh no, you know what? I'm not going to do that today. Yeah, I'm going to, like, I get that I really want to eat right now, but yeah, I'm just scared. Okay, cool. I'm going to go and do this instead. And she was able to like notice it and have more of an awareness and break free and not have those limiting habits anymore in her life, which is beautiful.
It almost sounds like parts work, like the internal family systems parts work, right? I don't know parts work well enough, but I know there's a manager and and a firefighter and a wounded child and an isolator and a, the parts work part of it, the saboteur sounds very much like parts work, and it's a brilliant technique that you use there to figure out what to take that part of her and allow her to talk to that part, and not to condemn it, but to just find out why are you here right now, and what are you protecting me from? Because like you said, that's what it's always about. This pulse, this part of us, this whatever it is, was necessary at one point in our life. It was
Yeah.
necessary, and yet now that we're an adult, we don't need that anymore in all situations. We just need it to make us more aware of when it is time to take a step back and to look and to find out what is actually dangerous and what is not dangerous anymore. So Salina, that's I commend you for that. That's brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it also works really well. It is very similar to the internal family systems. And I think the way that I was taught, or the way that Marissa teaches us, is that it's definitely influenced by, even her methodology is influenced by different modalities. If you really break it up, and when you learn about all these different modalities, you're like, oh, that's this one, and oh, that's this one, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so they're definitely all influenced by each other, which is beautiful. Because once you realize you're not in danger, your body can catch up to your mind.
Mm-hmm. And you can think, right? You're giving yourself the space to think rather than unintentionally react. Like the situation that you gave us. I mean, oh yeah, like I've done it myself, right? I've done it myself, and it's just that compulsion, that compulsion to connect again with someone who's been not something that you want to have in your life, but it's so compulsive to pick up the phone or to.
Yeah, there's like three things going on there, right? There's like there's a part of you, not you, but with the person, there's a part of them that feels unworthy. There's a part of them that is looking for connection and has not had that fulfilled within themselves. And there's a part of them that is sabotaging themselves. There's actually three parts that need to be, or more, but three minimum, that need to be addressed and healed and loved and nurtured and transformed. Because when we can stand in our worth, anything can happen.
I think that's extremely important in what we do, is to recognize that it is definitely more than one part. It's the self-sabotage, the lack of self-love, self-acceptance. I think it's so important in a true transformation for clients to understand that it all starts within them. And in my own journey, I looked for all of that from other people. And it's when I started to find it in me that things change. And from your bio alone, I can see that that is so important for you to help your clients to have that transformation from the inside out. And I know that that's because you have done that. So tell me how you have transformed yourself from the inside out.
Well, I just did all the work,
So what is different? How do you think differently? How do you feel differently? What changed?
I actually feel content. I actually, like, when I know when I'm in an alignment, my excitement is felt like it's like settled. It's like settled in my body. It's not like extreme this way or extreme this way. It's just like I feel excited, but I feel settled. I feel it's settled. And I don't know how else to explain it. I didn't have that before. I was always swinging from one pendulum, one side to the other. And I do get angry, because anger is a human emotion, but I don't hold on to it anymore. I don't harbor it. I don't go to bed with it at night. I don't like cuddle up to my anger anymore. I'm able to be like, oh, wow, that's really upsetting. and feel whatever I need to feel and let it process through my body and release it. Same with sadness. Like I'm able to, I had a hard time crying, and I had a hard time acknowledging when I was sad, and had a really hard time feeling it. And to this day, when I cry, I'm always like, guys, I'm leaking. Like it's just leaking out of me. There's nothing I can do about it. I am leaking. But now I can like really feel it and release it. So I don't hold on or harbor these emotions. I can release it. And what that means for my life is that I actually get to experience the full human experience. I get to experience all of my emotions, but I don't have to hold on to anything because everything is moving. And I get to be present, and I get to have more gratitude, and I get to appreciate more because I can feel more fully. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's really, how I got here was through all the things that I teach others now. But it started with looking at myself. I think, if I was to say something to someone who was in a similar spot to me, it'd be like, don't give up on yourself. You're worth more than what you think you are. There is value inside of you. And nurture those seedlings, those moments of hope, those moments of gratitude. Nurture it. Just keep nurturing those things, and they will expand, and they will grow, and they will flourish, and you will flourish as a result. But don't stop focusing on those moments of lightness, those moments of feeling good, those moments of wow, I was worth something there. Oh, they appreciated my work. Okay, now we gotta just switch it and be like, okay, they appreciate my work. What did I appreciate about my work then? And really own our own worth.
And each time we do a session with a client, we learn something else about ourselves. It's almost as though our spirit, our connection to ourself becomes stronger and more grounded because we experience the pain of others, but we help them through it. And by helping them through it is the ripple effect in ourselves as well. And that's one of the reasons that I just love doing rapid transformational therapy, because it's just so it's so good for the soul, my soul, as well as the client, of course. And that to me is the real reason we do it. It's just to help. By helping others, we help ourselves, and we grow, and we become stronger, and we're more able to cope with our own stuff, because we all have stuff, right? Each of us has something that we're going through, relationship wise or work wise or health wise, or it's that is life. That is life. And to have more tools, the better we can cope, the better our lives are as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
is there anything else you would like to add about what you do, and what you can tell our guests if they're going through a space right now? You mentioned, you said it so well. You said, just hold on, just remember the moments of joy. And you said it so well, but is there anything else that you'd like to add before we finish?
I think I would just tell them that you're beautiful and you're amazing, and you are a gift in the world. Whether or not you can see the gift that you are in this moment, you are a gift. And stand in what's possible and keep looking to create more possibilities. And if you need support, reach out. There's a world of people that want to support you. I'm definitely one of them, but there is a world of people. Find the person that you feel the most comfortable with. Find the person that you feel safe with, so that you can transform what's in the way of you being the gift you already are, and being seen for who you actually are, because that is the gift when you are you. I think that's what I would say.
Beautiful.
Salina, I know that you travel quite a bit, and is there a way that people can connect with you, not just for sessions, but for photography as well?
Yeah.
Because you were just mentioning that you were actually coming to British Columbia at some point. I'm like, oh, sign me up. So yeah, how can people connect with you?
For photography, it's like Instagram, or I have my website, which is stolenmomentsphotography.com, or at Stolen Moments Photography. And then for coaching, hypnosis, I do, except for access bars, which has to be done in person and hands-on. And there's many bars practitioners all around the world, which is beautiful. Everything else can be done virtually, which is really cool. And I do travel a lot. So I go to British Columbia, I go to Whistler probably about once a year. I go to Dubai, I go to Texas, like I travel all around the world. And I do most of my sessions online. So you can reach me at mithracoaching.com, which is MITERA coaching.com. And I have free sessions. Like I have a free coaching session available to anyone. So just connect, and then we can help you get to where you want to go.
Amazing. So one last message of hope.
One last message of hope. You're beautiful. You are strong. You are capable. You are worthy.
Lovely. Well, thank you to everyone who has joined us today. And if if you were inspired today, I guarantee you'll be inspired even more by subscribing and getting even more hope in your lives. And Salina, it's been a joy to have you. Good luck with your journeys, and I just can't wait to see your future. You've got a wonderful future ahead of you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Salina, for being here. And thank you, Fran. And until next time.
Goodbye.